Hi, my name is Vicky. I'm going to tell you how a little-known revolutionary named William Goddard inspired me to follow in his footsteps and create a patriotic media group for our own political revolution right here in Anne Arundel County. Here's the bad guy in our historical story. His name is King George, and he's totally greedy, and he wants money from the colonies. He's taxing paper, he's taxing tea, you name it. And the colonies are getting zilch back. All the while, he's really upset that the colonists don't like him and don't appreciate him. There were a lot of colonists who were not happy about the British either, so they formed the Sons of Liberty, a clandestine organization that was trying to figure out how to rise up against the British. They wrote long letters and sent them secretly because they were committing treason. Here's the hero of the story. It's 1774, and William Goddard is up in arms. He's a printer and a newspaper man who's loudly proclaiming that the British are greedy scumbags in the columns of his newspaper. In return, the British post office charges him triple and then dumps his papers in the trash. So Goddard gets a brilliant idea. If the British won't deliver his papers or make it affordable to do so, he'll design his own postal system across the colonies. His fellow revolutionaries loved the idea. Here's Paul Revere saying how awesome it is. And it worked. All around the colonies, printers and newspapermen wrote anti-British columns in the paper, riling up the citizens and infuriating the ruling British. By the time King George and his men got wind, it was too late. When George Washington led the Continental Army to fight the British, the newspapermen had printed enough stories of British tyranny that the majority of the colonists were totally on board. The free press helped Americans win the Revolution. Fast forward 200 years. American newspapers continued to keep our government in check. The Fourth Estate, it was called. A turning point came in 1996 when the Clinton administration deregulated the telecom industry. Small papers folded or got gobbled up by corporate giants. Enter the next bad guy in our story. Regardless of your politics, Donald Trump has been the worst thing to happen to journalism since King George tried to stop the firebrand printers in the colonies. Trump has done everything he can to undermine the media. This is one of the least egregious attacks. With all of the fake news coming out of NBC and the networks, at what point is it appropriate to challenge their license? Bad for country. I personally know journalists who had to cover his rallies and were terrified. Having Trump attack the very values that many Americans hold dear, like personal freedom, civility, and a variety of other issues, people were shocked, and like revolutionaries against the British, they began to protest in the streets. But aside from protesting, most people had no idea what to do. Some came back and huddled. I was clueless. I was working on my book and wallowing in self-pity in the end of America as I'd known it. Then it occurred to me, William Goddard, my hero in my book, the man who single-handedly created a secure way to communicate his anti-British and pro-revolutionary propaganda, was doing just what I needed to do. I'll copy him. I will go and find my own Sons of Liberty and daughters. First, I hit up an old friend, Peter, who happened to be a co-founder of the Arundel Patriot. Fortunately, he has an amazing wife who was also on board. Jeff Snowman was next. He gave us his tech know-how, and then came Rob Cates, a video guru. Then I went looking for patriots, and I found lots of them right here. Some of them are in this audience tonight. There's Janice, and I see Suzanne, I see Yasmin. Who else is here? Oh, and then I found editors because I had so much content coming and we were so successful. So Kelly Price is here. That's Anne, that's Ruth, that's Vicka, that's Ruth, and Dawn, who's also here. Then people started to rally around us and said, you need to get even bigger. So citizen publishers came out and they started to help fund the Arundel Patriot. So after August, from April to now, which is less than a year, we've had 100,000 individual hits to our website. We've written about politics, we've written about the environment, we've written about, we have a Young Patriot section, we have opinion section, and we've done a whole lot in a little short time. Our live stream has been seen probably 50,000 times, thanks to Rob Cates, who got us all started, got us little tripods, and we all go around and we amplify messages of good stories and good things that are happening in our county, and good candidates. Whoever would overthrow the liberty of a nation must begin by subduing the freeness of speech. That's Benjamin Franklin. He was a frenemy of William Goddard, but I still love him. And because of that, we all need your help to keep the press free and keep supporting independent media. So thank you.